Hello everyone! So I'm back from Genesis, which means it's time to talk about Dread 2 and Flingza and do an actual full discussion, not me recording in a hotel room. So, you know, that'll be a bit better. Uh, why don't we start with Flingza? I think the Flingza kit is not that bad. Mostly because suction on Flingza is very strong. You know, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's a bomb. It paints. It can poke people so you can move forward, which is nice since your only movement option is like, yeah, not good. So, stuff like that is fine. Scream for the special is okay. Like, you can shark behind it and pop up with horizontal. The only real issue is if you need to paint, you're going to vertical, and vertical will absolutely paint through the screen and show people where you are. There's not really any combos. Like, in theory, you could combo a vertical, but you can't see people on the other side of the screen. So it's not that practical. And it's a special with a cooldown, so it won't spam that much. My personal hope was jetpack. I realized with suction, Flingza could be the inkjet weapon we were looking for, and we've never had a jet with roller, so I thought that could have been cool, but nah. If Scream gets buffed to be like an actual special, I could see this kit being better than the vanilla one, but realistically, like, yeah, this thing still is a totally fine kit on the original. Like, mine on it is not bad, so as much as I wish we got a cooler kit for it, it didn't happen. But that's really all I gotta say on Flingza. Good potential, since its horizontal flick was buffed, for a inkjet option, but unfortunately it's gonna be a kit that will only work if they buff screen, and if they don't fix screen, I don't even know if I want screen to be a real special, but that's your only hope, Flingza players, is Scream getting buffed. Okay, let's talk about Dread. This is the one everyone's been waiting for. So, I think Dread is one of those weapons that could get away with not having a bomb. But Dread really likes having a bomb, because Dread can't threaten a one-shot kill without a bomb. Like, if I have a bomb and I shoot you, you have to be worried that the bomb could hit you for 30 and kill you. So you have to respect, like, a 90. But because the second Dreadringer doesn't have a sub that does damage, you don't have to be threatened. Like, even if I had an ink mine, I could, like, 90 someone, and they could potentially walk into a mine and blow up, you know? Like, that could be a combo. But Beacon doesn't do that. That being said, Dread can paint, and it can sit back, so it doesn't need it. I don't like Beacon for it, really. Beacon is fine right now, but I think Beacon on a slower weapon is just going to be naturally harder to set up, and it's also a bit ink hungry on the most expensive sub in the game. So it's not really the best weapon to move and place beacons, really, nor does it want to do that. Dread is a weapon that wants to keep constant paint uptime, so having a sub that doesn't provide turf output either doesn't help with that. Like, Dread always wants to be painting, and this is just a lot of downtime where you aren't painting. So, workable sub, but clearly has a lot of limitations. Wavebreaker on it is funny. One, because it gets compared to range, so there's some overlap. But they've done a really, really good job of making sure that the weapons with wave combo, right? Like, this thing can do 60 damage. Combos for a one-shot. This thing takes 2 shots off the kill time. 75% of the radius. Locates people, which is huge for a leader, you know? 2 shots off the kill. 2 shots off the kill. All of these weapons, very cool combos. Dread does not have that. Dread only combos if you hit a 90. Look at the other buckets. Like, we could have given this to Explo. And Explo would have comboed with a 92, but Explo's a backline. So it plays off the location better, especially with how far you can hit. So I get the idea of it locates people too. And the location part is great for this weapon, 100%. But I need to hit 90 damage to kill off my wave. And that's the only way I can threaten it. It's just not very good. On top of that, Wave's just kind of bad. And Wave also does not paint. Now, if Wave dealt 58 damage and could combo with either Flick, like either one of them, even if it comboed with just the first one, it wouldn't be good. But if it comboed with either, I think it would be a very strong combo. That might make it worth it. Because then you hit a Wave and you can spread out your sloshes and you have a much greater chance of comboing off of it. I think that could be a lot more interesting, and it wouldn't break any of the other Wave weapons. So that could be a cool way to make it work. But unless if that specific buff happens, I just don't see it. Like, this kit, while it has a slider, has a bomb for the pain and damage, has ways of poking, and slider is still not horrible on it. You can cheese zone, it does paint, it doesn't take away from you painting for very long, and it still takes space with it. Like, in theory. If they ever make slider good, this kit would be really good. Like, if you can slider and not die afterward, then slider would function as an entry, and this kit would be fine. Fallen Knight, thank you for the prime. But unfortunately, I just don't see it without that. Like, I just don't think it's worth it, really. Like, the new kit just doesn't provide a lot of paint. You're not going to be killing as much because you have way worse slaying tools. So if I'm not painting as much, I'm not killing as much, I'm getting an equal special to the one I have right now, balance-wise anyway, where would I ever want the other kit? Like, what would I do with it? There's no real reason to pick it. The best argument you can have is a beacon map. But is any stage that good for beacons where you would rather not have a painting and damage tool on a weapon that does 90 damage and paints that well? It's just not really. You think we'll get a patch before side order? We could. I don't know. So, yeah, the Dread kit could be better. I think if Wave dealt enough damage, it would have some niches. Especially if they also made Wave good. But I don't know if they're going to make the special good, guys. It's gone one buff in a year and a half. Strami, thank you for the prime as well. Honestly, I have more faith in Slider getting another buff that makes this kit really good. Because this kit isn't far off. Especially in zones. So if Slider just gets a little bit more, I could see it jumping up a lot. But we have to see. It would have been really cool to get Torp. Torp would have comboed so well. The outside torpedo explosions would have comboed even, because they do 12. So, it's kind of sad. And the downside to me that I want to elaborate on more is Dread theory crafting is dead. Like, the kind of comps I wanted to try with this weapon with, like, Dread RB just don't work with the current kits. You can't run something to enable other weapons. So you're building a comp around this, and that's the sad part to me. Because I thought this could have been a really cool way to diversify comps. Like, you can run Roller and an AoE weapon now. You could do, like, Dynamo Dread. That's a really interesting combo. Or Explode Dread if Explode didn't get triple splashdown. Stuff like that. There were a lot of interesting comps that you could build on a Dread with a good kit that would have diversified the game a lot. It would have provided a lot different type of comps that you couldn't normally run. And that's what made the weapon so interesting to me. And unless if Slider is Giga buffed, that will never happen. And even if Slider is Giga buffed, it will not be as optimal as something like Torp and an actual entry like Crab. Or even Chump. Like, just for those who say, I just want a broken Dread kit. For example, Torp Chump is not that amazing a kit. It would work for Dread theory crafting on zones. You would be able to run stuff like Dread RB with that kit. You could do it. So even a weaker special that fit it would have been fine. Like, Chumps has a lot of synergy on this weapon between the paint, the damage, and the body blocking. So just for an example. But unfortunately, Dread doesn't have the tools to enable the really cool stuff. Which sucks. Because I think comps like this are kind of what we need. We need to enable comps that feel a lot more different to play and fight. And that's just unfortunately what we didn't get. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the kits now that I'm back. I'm still very disappointed. I'll probably still play the weapon because, I don't know, I'm crazy. But, yeah, it's disappointing. Thanks, guys.